Dear learners, how are you? During corona pandemic, you are staying at home. You are separated from any academic class. I am with you, a class that will help you in this corona pandemic situation. Now, I am going to give my introduction. I am Arifujjaman Arif, lecturer of English, Doiko Adarsha College, Hathibanda, Learning Unit. Class 11, subject English first paper. Look at the following pictures. Dear students, here you see a picture. You can gauge what is the picture it is. Perhaps a man with an axe. He is cutting wood. Here in this picture, you will see a man who is carrying wood. In this picture, you see a man who is a shopkeeper of wood, and perhaps another person is selling wood. Our today's lesson is the story about an honest woodcutter and the kind fairy. Learning outcomes. After lesson, you will be able to ask and answer questions and write a story. There lived a woodcutter in a village. Dear learners, in a picture you see a forest, and in this forest or the nearby forest, a woodcutter lived in a village. One day he was cutting wood near a pond. Suddenly his axe fell into the pond. The pond was very deep. It is a matter of very sad that while he was cutting wood, he fell the axe absent-mindedly. The woodcutter did not know how to swim or dive, so he was sitting there sadly. Actually, the woodcutter did not know how to swim, so how can he get the axe? So he became sad. Then a wonderful thing happened. A beautiful fairy appeared before him. It is very surprising. It is very interesting. The dear learners, you look at the picture. There appeared a beautiful fairy. She asked him in a sweet voice, "Why are you so sad? Why are you not cutting wood?" That means the fairy can talk. It is surprising to you. The fairy talked with the woodcutter. She asked him why he was crying. The woodcutter replied sorrowfully, "My axe has fallen into the pond. I can't cutting wood now." The woodcutter replied with sorrow note. He was sorrowful because his axe was fallen. It was his only means to cut wood and to earn his living. The fairy then showed him an egg made of silver and asked him if it was his egg. He said, "It is not my egg." The fairy, as the fairy was kind, he dived into the pond and showed him a egg. The egg was made of silver. The fairy showed him another egg made of gold and asked him, "Is this egg that you lost?" The woodcutter said, "No, it is not. My egg is made of iron. It is old." Actually, the woodcutter was very honest. He did not tell a lie. He answered from his heart that he was a truthful person. The fairy showed him the lost eggs with a wooden handle. The woodcutter then said happily, "It was his eggs." As the woodcutter was truth, his words were true, so he accepted the right eggs. The fairy became pleased and gave him the gold and the eggs silver. Then the woodcutter became rich and began to live happily. Dear learners, this story, the moral of this story is great. The woodcutter finally got the two eggs and his real eggs. He sold the eggs and became rich overnight. Here we finish this story, dear learners. Practice it at home and try to write it, and if you any problem, I will solve it in my next lecture.